what I want to mention is what we call the big four. Three of these items could actually stop you from being able to meet. The fourth one is just a lot of money, and that is flooring. All of your flooring has a cost. When we estimate the replacement of roll carpet to, say, carpet tile, we're looking at about $8.50 a square foot, and that's a 12-inch by 12-inch square. It's not very big. When you consider how much square foot you have and what it amounts to, that is a big ticket item, which means most churches are not changing their carpet at the recommended intervals by the commercial carpet manufacturers. Now, they'll tell you every 3 to 5 years. Of course they do, they want the money. But realistically, every 5 to 8 years is probably based on your actual usage, what you should do. That is a big expense. If you are not being a good steward and putting that money aside, you will not have enough. And what happens is you let the carpet go longer than it should. It looks worse, it's frays, it's way stained, and it's just very unsightly. And so this carpet has been recently redone. It looks great. It also means that of the big four of your flooring, which is not just carpet, but VCT, even stained concrete, it all has maintenance that needs to be done to keep it in its best condition. So that is your preventative maintenance. It's doing a carpet spot cleaning program to make sure stains don't set, doing an extraction when needed, doing the proper stripping and waxing intervals on your VCT tiles, or doing the proper cleaning process on your LVT or any other type of flooring. That's number one of the big four. So as we walk out the building, we come immediately to number two of the big three, which is parking lots. Parking lots is one of the biggest areas that you will be responsible for maintaining at your church. And failure in your parking lot, if it's crumbling, if it's has lots of holes and things like that, it creates potential trip hazards. It creates potential things that might damage people's vehicle, and if it fails, it can keep you from meeting. So that's why parking lots of the big four, it's one of the three that can keep you from meeting if it's not properly done. And parking lot maintenance isn't, I do it once and then never come back again. Trying to do all of your parking lot at once every 3 years is kind of cost prohibitive. Divide your parking lot into quadrants, depending how often. If you don't have to remove snow, like us in Texas, usually, then you might not have to scrape it as often. But if you are in an area that has a lot of snow removal, you're looking at probably about 3-year intervals. So divide it into thirds and do a third every year. Push out the cost, but the more you maintain it, the less often you're going to have to do major patching and repairs. And so as we walk out, number two of the big three, and that is our roofing. This particular facility has both shingled roofing and flat roofing. As you can imagine, failure in your roofing can shut you down. It's hard to have church when when there's water falling in and wind and rain and things like that. So proper maintenance and inspection of your roof is critical. Now, some of the roofs you may not be able to maintain yourself. It may be too tall, it may be too steep. Hire somebody, it's worth it. The more you invest in maintaining your roof means it will last longer, better, and will cause you less headaches in the future. And so we're looking at checking the condition of the shingles, patching any shingles in a shingle roof that might have come off, making sure they're all there, patching any leaks as soon as you find it. So those are things that need to be done, but that's number two of the big three. The final one is HVAC. And we see here, it's a pretty large unit. This is the third item of the big four that can shut you down, because as you know, it's pretty difficult to have service if everybody's too hot or too cold. Now, everybody will always be too hot or too cold, but if you don't have HVAC at all because of a failure, a catastrophic failure, because you weren't doing your maintenance, you weren't looking at the unit once a month, you weren't inspecting those things, that's a preventable downtime. And so we have to remember that, because if we have a catastrophic failure, again, going back to Texas, if you have a large facility and your chiller goes kaput and you have no alternative, you're bringing in a truck, you are paying for temporary cooling, which is spending thousands and tens of thousands of dollars while you're still spending tens of thousands of dollars to get a unit in there to actually cool your thing. And if you're in my northern areas, you can't, it's hard to have church if everything's frozen because the boiler doesn't work. And so the big three of the four, HVAC, parking lots, and roof, can stop your operation if you let it go too far. Proper maintenance is critical. The fourth largest expense typically is your flooring. And it also has some of the higher ongoing maintenance expenses when it comes to proper spot treatment and cleaning of carpet, when it comes to the proper stripping and waxing of floors, things like that. So we have to invest in that time. We have to be cognizant of what we have so that we do not spend more money than we should in maintaining what has been entrusted to us.